like stuff that they're going to see in the game.
Yeah.
Because it got to look real.
Yeah.
If it don't translate training to game, it's not going to work.
Yep.
It's not going to
Yep.
work. Yeah.
Now, do you be having 15 people in your group session, 20 people in your group session? And if so, how do you manage? Because that's the only thing that's the only bone I got to pick with group training.
Right.
I feel like sometimes it's one trainer and it's 20 kids.
Right.
And it's like, and maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I just don't know how a trainer can focus on all 20 kids.
You can't, because you're going to have kids and we're talking about this generation now.
Mm-hmm.
These kids lose attention span so quick. They'll be looking up the stands and looking at mom and them. And so my training, if it's just me, I'm having no more than about 4 to 6.
Okay.
4 to 6, maybe 8, depending on the age group. But the way I do it, I have 4 in the group. If I have 8, 4 and 4, depending on age and skill level.
Mm-hmm.
4 is doing something, going to the basket, while I'm gonna have this other 4 that I can keep an eye on. They're doing stationary ball handling.
Got you.
They're doing strength and conditioning. Hey, you got squat jumps. You got 25 squat jumps. You got 25 push-ups. You got 25 jumping jacks. Over and over until I say stop or until I say switch. Mm-hmm. While this other group, we're going to the basket with one move. And oh, by the way, you getting beat up by me. So I'm able, because I've been doing it for so long, I'm able to keep watch on both groups going at the same time. So that's kind of how I'm kind of model my training. And then if it's me and another trainer, then of course they're doing the same thing on the other side. So we can have 12 to 16 kids.
Right. But 2 trainers.
It got to be 2. Yeah. It got to be 2. Or if not, I tell a parent. And that's why I'm big on my parents. And they're really good on, you better book this monthly session, because these spots are going to fill up. I'm not going over 8. I can't go over 8. We're going to find another day. Because I don't want to cheat the kids that's there constantly and consistent on wanting to get better, because I'm all about quality reps. I'm quality over quantity any day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you feel like is the biggest mistake parents make when it comes to their child's development?
Rushing the process. I'm looking at Ashley. She's been training with Coach Stoke, or she's been training with Full Throttle the same amount of time as my kid, and Ashley is developing at a rapid speed because she's picking it up. My kid is still behind. Ashley is on varsity. My kid is on JV.
Yeah.
They're in the same grade. What's going on? You know what I'm saying? And now parents feel like, oh, well, I got to hop to a different trainer.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
It's the trainer fault.
It's the trainer fault, you know? Instead of me, I'm always telling your kid, go harder, push harder. You can do it. Whereas Ashley, I'm giving her to play, and she's going hard as you know what. And I ain't gotta do it. So I think parents gotta learn how to be patient.
Yeah.
Don't like we talked about earlier, don't rush the process.
Yeah.
Like trust it. Like it may take 5 or 6 years, you know, but once it click, it's on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like kids play too many games now?
Absolutely.
What's your ratio from I would say a game to training ratio?
I think kids should at least get about 3 to 4 skills training in, if possible, to one game.
But what if they got
at
a
least
tournament?
2 to 3. At least 2 to 3 training skills training compared to one game.
But what if so let's say they got a tournament, they got 3 games.
Right. On the weekend, right?
Right.
What you doing during the week?
How many times should they be training?
At least twice.
Okay.
At least twice.
So at a minimum, if a kid is serious.
Yeah.
If a kid is serious, you're only saying 2 times?
If he's serious, if he or she is serious, they need to be in the gym at least 3 to 4 times.
Right.
But if we're going off of tournaments, events, I'm also thinking about team practices.
Okay, that's true. I forget about that.
Yeah, so the week is filled.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, how do these parents and athletes really like? How do you balance just like that workload? Because I feel like you got, for some, you're gonna practice
Right.
twice a week, right?
Right.
You got your tournament.
Right.
Most teams are gonna have 8 to 10 tournaments, depending on what grade
Right.
you in.
Right.
And then you training 2 to 3 times. Do you not feel like that's too much, or is that enough for an elite player?
It's enough for an elite player.
Okay.
It maybe even need to be more.
Okay.
But I say that because just think about it. If you're playing 8 to 10 tournaments, I'm thinking that you're playing in 2 events a month.
Yep.
And so I'm sorry, yeah, 2 events a month. So the week that you are off, that's when you really can get in your rest and recovery. You can also, if you're only able to train maybe once or twice during the week that you have a tournament, well, maybe you can amp it up a little bit by going two to three times the week that you're off.
Okay.
Just to work on things that you see that you need to get better at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
And we didn't even talk about, I just call it sports performance. But when you talk about, like, we got the training on court, but you also got training off court, which is your sports performance and all of that. So how do you even weave that in?
It's a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
That's
why they got to be serious.
Exactly. Like if you're not serious, you're not gonna do you're not gonna do half of this stuff. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But if you're serious, you're gonna like the nutrition got to come in play. Skills training. Then after skills training, you may have an hour to go to recovery. You know what I'm saying? If you skills train from 6:30 to 7:30, okay, cool. Now I'm going to now I got to go get in the what's the deal called where the ice?
Cryo?
Cryo.
Yeah.
You got to go do cryo, or you got to put the compression legs on. You got that for at least 30 to 45 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely an everyday process, or every other day.
Yeah.
You're gonna do something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And hopefully Sunday you can rest.
Yeah.
But Monday through Saturday, I think it's something at least has to be done.
I feel
to help
that.
you out.
I do feel that. So you also coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
You coaching your daughter, huh?
Yeah.
What made you want to coach her versus having somebody else coach her?
So I did have somebody coach her, starting out when she was in the 3rd grade. And I just saw the foundation wasn't being laid correctly, like the fundamentals, you know. And yes, they were young, but she understood when I was at home what a triple threat was.
Yeah.
She understand what a shot fake is. She understand, you know, defensive slide, how to keep her chest up and butt down and hands out. I just feel like that wasn't hit on at a young age, and I feel like that's needed.
Yeah.
And then she started saying, "Well, Dad, can I play for you? Can you coach me?" And you know, a dad and a daughter is. I'm so soft, man.
Yeah.
I'm soft, man, like Charmin tissue. I hate to say it, but
Yeah.
she wanted me to coach, and she was playing soccer then at the time, and she still does play soccer, but all of her soccer friends were like, "Yeah, I want to play basketball for your dad." And then here come the parents. "Hey, coach, the kids want you to coach."
Oh my God.
I feel like I just got scooted into that position, but I would love to just sit back and just be dad.
Yeah.
Cause I've never coached before. This is my 2nd year coaching.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've never coached, and I've been asked by many of organizations to come and coach. I've even had a couple colleges, universities. I'm not gonna say no names, but they wanted me to come and be their player development. But
You ain't never wanted to do that?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I did, but just from what I was told, that was gonna take me away from being able to train everybody.
Makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I've just been a trainer that I was able to touch the Drive Nation kids, or the Pro Skill kids, or the Team Licks kids. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't want to be stuck. I only can train just this group of kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that's why everybody was liking to come to me, because I was able to touch everybody.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
I love that aspect. And as far as my daughter, sooner or later, I'm gonna be done with this coaching thing.
Yeah.
I just want to strictly train, but I'm doing it for her, and I love I love where it's going with her and her friends, because we started out in the rec league, and now we're in that transition stage where now we're playing against some of the elite kids. You
Yeah.
know, instead of us getting beat by 20, now we only losing maybe by 8, 9,
Yeah.
10. So you see the growth and development.
Yeah.
And that's what I always care about, is just the end goal.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for y'all to be your best now in the 5th grade, but what you gonna look like when you become a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
When you try to make the varsity or the JV. I always tell them, I don't want y'all to play freshman. If you learn what you're being taught now, and work hard at it and execute and give it your all, you'll be where you need to be.
Yeah.
Whenever that time comes.
Yeah. You said earlier, you didn't like the foundation wasn't being laid. What do you feel like the foundation, or what do you feel like it looks like 3rd, 4th, 5th grade from an AAU standpoint, from a development standpoint, 7th, 8th grade, and high school?
3rd, 4th, 5th grade, make sure that they're having fun. Make sure that they learn and know the basics and the fundamentals when it comes to a chest pass or a bounce pass, or trying to attempt to make a correct layup, you know. But most importantly, make sure that they're having fun and playing as hard as they can. Middle school, we're taking it to another level. Bodies are developing a little bit more in men and women. And so now skill level have to become more effective. Still in the development process, and just being able to go hard and train quality. Like, don't think about the quantity, but think about quality. Are you efficient?
Yeah.
How many dribbles is it taking you from getting to the 3-point line to the goal? If it's taking you more than 2, we have a problem.
Yeah.
You know, high school kids, everything has to be elite.
Yeah.
Everything has to be efficient.
What's elite? That word is used so much.
It is.
What's elite?
How can you be simple but effective?
Okay.
That's my elite.
Yeah.
What does it take if you're on the defensive end? Are you able to turn that offensive player 5 to 7 times before they get to half court? Like, how locked in are you when you talk about elite? Because if you think about the elites of the elites, they have a specialized talent, a specialized skill. And if that's your skill, how elite are you in doing that job?
Yeah.
You know, and I think
That's
that's
good.
when the college coaches start to come in at, okay, he or she is a great shooter.